Hello and welcome to a special edition of Ideas with Diana. For tonight, I'd like to talk about three things. First, the Freedom Convoy. Thank you, those in Canada and the Freedom Convoy, for helping us in the United States to officially end mandates as of 12 midnight tonight. It is strange that a pandemic is officially ended by administrative actions. So it reminds people of my generation of what was done during the Cold War in the old Soviet Union administration, that everything had to come top down and that the people weren't heard. Second point, I'm glad that the Freedom Convoy is starting. I do hope my prayers are with them and others' prayers are with them that they reach DC, because peaceful assembly is a protective right, no matter how objectionable to certain people in the Democratic Party and against those basic, no matter how objectionable to those in Democratic Party by those who are of us who are Republican and other people in the United States who don't always share the views of the leaders in the Democratic Party. Now, by saying this, I'm saying this as a patriot and as an American. As an American, we have the four freedoms: freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion. What does the fourth one, freedom of religion, mean? Someone who may be a elitist or a liberal or just liberals may say, well, oh, fine, I'm an atheist. Okay, I'd say, fine, you're an atheist. But then what happens when they find out I'm a first congregationalist? Well, you really shouldn't be a first congregationalist. God is made up of construction to sorry, I valued your religious right to be an atheist. You value my religious right to be a first congregationalist and a person who believes in God. I still say when I go to bed at night, now I lay me down to sleep, pray the Lord's soul to keep. If I die before I wake, will you have my soul to take? I still say that today, even though I am near 60. And I'm sure there are many other people who do that. To our friends in Canada, Canadian convoys watching your video with the Canadian convoy, and I had tears of joy that basically that someone did make a video of that event, because it did cause people to get their freedom back. Just to give an example, a personal case for me. This Saturday, like I do on the weekends, I like to go to Barnes and Noble and get a latte and read the books and magazines, and also buy some books when I can. And what happened was, due to an auto accident I had many years ago, my car was totaled. I haven't been able to buy a new car yet. So I still have friends who drive me, or most of the time I take the bus. Well, in Racine, we had a very strict mask mandate that if you didn't have this mask on or you walked off without this mask, you could get a $500 fine. And for me, living on Social Security, that's an awful lot for me. I mean, because I don't get that much on Social Security. Neither do many other people. So $500 is a lot. And even for those not on Social Security working, when you consider two car payments, a mortgage, two insurance payments, $200 cable. I just have internet. I have streaming, but I don't have cable. But the thing is, I walked to the bus stop, and I walked there checking my watch to make sure that I got there in time, because sometimes when we've seen the buses don't wait for you. In Kenosha, they do. You have to go like this. Bus driver will wait till you walk up, because with my health condition, I can't run. If I run, into an airway attack and I'll collapse. I can walk a little bit faster, but I can't do that for an extended period of time. So I got up to the bus stop. I was waiting for the bus, getting my money out, and then suddenly I had a panic. Oh my God, where's my mask? Where's my mask? Where's my mask? And I realized what happened. I had a different coat on. Because I got to the point with this mask mandate in Wisconsin and Racine, and especially liberal cities like Racine, Madison, Milwaukee, where basically we had to carry a mask everywhere. And now in Kenosha, what happens? All the restaurants are open. You can sit inside everything else, but we've seen in Milwaukee very limited places to sit still. So I looked for my mask. Where's my mask? Where's my mask? And finally, the bus came, and oh boy, I was thinking, well, maybe if I go like this, I can get on the bus. I was in panic. I walked down, and I was going to ask the bus driver. I said, look, if you have a mask, I'll pay you something for it or something. And she said, no, look, you don't need a mask. And what happened, I remember I saw on my cell phone in the New York Times that the mask mandate ended on Thursday. But while I was waiting for that bus, it made me feel like I was in East Berlin. For those of you who are younger, don't understand the Cold War in a partitioned Germany. Up to 1991, Germany was partitioned. The city of Berlin was partitioned east and west. And there's a famous checkpoint Charlie. So if you cross checkpoint Charlie, you're either going from West Berlin to communist East Berlin or communist East Berlin to West Berlin. But the thing in East Berlin is that it's very strict. They made it that hardly anyone could leave. And if you tried to escape, they made it as very deadly to do so. So when people crossed over either way, they had fear because when you had to encounter the East German police or secret police, it's like, oh boy, you better make sure you have your papers. You better make sure you have your mask. You better, and that's how I felt with this mask mandate in Racine. It was like almost like living in East Berlin again. Oh, do I got my papers? Do I got my mask? Do I got my vaccine card? Now, and people shouldn't be made to feel this way. I mean, if this pandemic was as true as it is, people would automatically do their part to solve this pandemic like they did during the polio pandemic, during the 1921 Spanish flu pandemic, and even during the AIDS crisis. But when the government becomes heavy-handed, you have to wear your mask, and you're made to feel like basically you don't have any local say in your government, and also that you feel you don't have any local say if you're a Republican because you speak out too loudly. You'll have some of the Democrat call you before committee and say that you're a subversive. No, free speech is a limited protected right, but basically criticizing is not subversive. Criticizing, like Ron Paul said, is patriotic, and many people, even in addition to Ron Paul and previous generations, realize criticism is patriotic. When people don't criticize or are afraid to criticize because of the party in power is opposite of what they are, then we have a problem in this country. That's why I'm glad the Freedom Convoy, and I do hope the Freedom Convoy makes it to DC because we need to demonstrate peaceful assembly, even if it's considered objectionable to a certain elites in power of the opposite party, is not subversive. It is a protective right. The second point, I'm glad to see these mask mandates ending at 12 midnight tonight because, tell you the truth, these masks that they, when they had people wear these cloth masks, they had holes this big, the virus could get. And also, when we had the virus developed, I mean, the vaccine developed, we were told that basically just take this vaccine, no more masks, we can go back to normal. We don't have to live this new totalitarian normal. I added totalitarian in quotation marks. And we could go back. Guess what? We didn't. One thing I say is thank God for President Trump, because at one point we were going to have 2 football seasons in one year, 2 college football seasons, and I'm glad Trump put the hammer down and said no. We're going to restart sports. We're going to restart football, golf, and basketball. We're going to find a way to do this. And we're going to have it. We're not going to have 2 seasons. And I'm glad for President. And there are many other things I'm glad for President Trump because even I was talking with friends. They said, no, I agree with you. I voted for Trump too. And our friend said, I don't vote. But I said, I supported President Trump. And even when he talked with the Europeans about paying their fair share of this 2% for NATO to provide for defense, now they realize it. Talk about someone being stubborn. I'm glad Trump was according to European press the bad American or vulgar American who actually said the truth and actually said it plainly and honestly. They needed to hear it, and now they realize it with Ukraine. It's too bad they didn't realize that a few weeks ago. We could have avoided this bloody mess and dirty little war that we're in. But like I said, to the Canadian Freedom Convoy, you have our thanks and you have our support. And when I was watching the Canadian Freedom Convoy video, I actually had tears because it's nice to see that freedom is not dead. Peaceful assembly, the people in Canada gathered peacefully. So, and I even watched the live stream that was from Ottawa, and even and with the Ambassador Bridge, seeing that people were milling around, talking, and everything, and it wasn't what the media was making it out to be. So I hope with the truckers that are going towards DC, I hope you can make it and put and I hope remember like our Canadian brothers and sisters on the Freedom Convoy, be peaceful, be peaceful, be peaceful, and you're helping a great deal. Well, let me know what you think. I can be reached on Twitter at Diana1A, and I prefer to be reached that way. To some viewers, you may know something different. With this presentation, I was able to buy a new webcam, so basically you can see a wider space and you can sort of see more of what actually some of my apartment looks like with my bookcase of science and other things. So, well, let me know what you think, and I'll talk with you soon.